going to be in a lot of trouble. Doesn't not even producing probes at certain locations. Apparently, doesn't have any probes in that expansion. Hardly mining there at all. So he needs to be a little bit more heads up about this. Actually, putting down a lot of photon cannons to the upper left hand. Going to see whether they actually try to force Mind into that position and try to flank him from behind. But at this point, not really sure if he's going to be able to do that. Mind's just going to move in very slowly with those tanks. Going to be able to take those from range. He's kind of playing very calmly, I gotta say. Maybe even thinking of taking that 11 to 12 o'clock position. Arbiter just gonna mill around. Think of a recall. Is gonna get through the turtle line. Is gonna manage a recall. Is gonna die as it does so. Now it's very critical for those Zealots and these Dragoons to do some damage. Not just troop damage, not just economic damage. The SCVs that are mining at the main at this point are not that important. They have to take down factories. Have to take out factories right now, right quick, maybe even take down armory or two, try to prevent those upgrades from keeping going. But forces are funneling down, and Pusan is not really doing much there. He's now going to get his upper left hand broken. Are going to be tanks moving in very close to that. Does have troops on the ground, forced to clear mining before they can really support that upper left hand position. No factories coming down yet. Tanks have weapons 3 at this point, I believe, and armor 2. So Mind has a army that is so strong that just melts all these Protoss units, doesn't even allow them to do anything. So that second recall from Pusan that honestly results in nothing but killing a couple of troops and not really doing any other damage at this point. Meanwhile, he's losing the upper left-hand position. There are some tanks there trying to siege it, trying to kill it from range. They're not going to manage to do that, but he still prevented all the mining there. And even if Pusan is staying on more bases, he's not really utilizing them. I'm not seeing a lot of probe production, not really seeing a lot of probe saturation from him. Going to be forceful on this, going to go for yet another recall right off the bat. Going to try to get those factories, setting in some more Dragoons. SCV right there, EMPs, those Dragoons and Zealots. But they're in a pretty good position nonetheless to possibly do some damage if those tanks and vultures don't funnel down and do some sort of damage to it. Those factories at the left side, they're burning very heavily, should actually be the focus. There are scans also coming up because there's an Arbiter in to support this time. Last time he did not really have any Arbiters to come in with the recall to help support those Dragoons, but they're actually doing some decent troop damage at this point, forcing Mind to waste a lot of scans. Interestingly enough, not taking the control tower down, despite that it was very heavily on fire. Pusan actually going to move in with Dragoons and Zealots very quickly here, and this could actually be a turning point in the match here because Pusan has been allowed to stay on bases for a lot of time. As Templar, they're actually going to store some position, not really catch much the first time. Second time, going to catch a little bit of something, not really killing much with those High Templar at all, though. But what's the advantage that Pusan has at this point? That's due to the fact how many bases he has. You can tell by just how many forces he has on the map, how much he has. You see this gigantic red blob that Mind has near his base, but a lot of it are buildings that is used for positioning. But Mind has not been able to take his fourth. He's still only at 3 bases, while Pusan has been on those 6 bases for a long time, and Mind is not mining off his main. He's not mining off his natural at this point. His third is the only thing that's mining. So every single force that Pusan actually kills is going to be very, very good for him. So Mind at this point in serious danger of possibly running out here, possibly just dying economically if he doesn't do some sort of damage. He's going to go for the 6th position. He might just take this down. He might even be able to take the positioning. Pusan means going to move right towards the natural expansion positioning of Minds. Oh man, Arbiter's getting EMP'd, so that's going to be a little bit of trouble. Not going to be seeing any stasis from those Arbiters. They are, however, still going to be able to give stealth and cloaking those ground forces. Mind actually has a pretty decent ground force on the ground as well. He's going to be able to take down the 6th position, most likely going to mill towards the right-hand position as he does so. So Pusan, if he wants to win this, needs to either go for that. No, okay, he's not going to go for the natural expansion. Meanwhile, he's just going to take the 12 o'clock and going to mill south, try to box in this force of mines that are going to stasis some forces on the ground, clear those mines as he runs down south, can try to box his force in. Even if Mind tries to go for the positioning on the right, even based at the low right-hand position, it might actually be a perfect opportunity for Pusan to push him right into that base and attack him from behind. There are going to be some tanks moving towards that position. Mind still staying only on 1 mining base at this point. And actually has a Dark Templar attacking those tanks. He's going to get stealth and killed. More Dark Templar on the way, forcing scans. Getting it taken out pretty quickly too. Those scans apparently lasting for him. Pusan actually moving all of his forces towards the 12 o'clock position, seeing a science vessel there. Gonna try to kill it before it does any sort of trouble. He is taking that base, the 12 o'clock position, the mineral only. Meanwhile, Mind's continuing. If Pusan allows that lower right-hand position to be taken out, he might still be in a pretty bad position. Does have a lot of troops on the ground, does have production up, but does not want to lose mining bases at this point because he's had an economic advantage for so long, does not want to lose it. Mind actually had a command, so I think it might have been actually floated from his main. Seemed actually decides to float that towards either the 6 o'clock position. I think he was floating it north, so he might actually think of taking that at 12 o'clock. But yeah, the mining at the lower right hand completely stopped. Pusan finally moving his forces southward, going to try to box mine forces. And if he takes down that entire troop on the ground, that's really Pusan needs to do. He needs to reinforce, needs to take that force on the ground. If he manages to do that, he's going to be in a good position. He has a lot of arbiters in play. Unfortunately, those are being EMP'd all over the place, and some troops being EMP'd as well. But still a pretty sizable force, and I think enough, if you use those arbiters well to support, I think it's going to be enough to help. There's the forces up. Tank positioning actually pretty open on those ramps. Zealot's going to be able to run in. Vulture's not in to help support them. There are a lot of mines in the ground, but Zealots still think running in pretty clearly. Arbiters coming in as well. Scans coming up for mine, but he gets a stasis up, gets some of those tanks. I hope there's no coming in the way of him. Dragoon's actually going to run. So Storm coming up, storming all the Vultures. They're just not going to be in the way at all. Oh man, all those tanks stasis at the far positions. So the Goons are actually going to be able to clear this up. Going to take this command center that was put down by mine at 6 o'clock position. Command center, even if it's floated away, is going to lose its life. Pusan has lost 2 bases, but meanwhile is reinforced by taking that 12 o'clock and still being allowed mining at the upper left hand. His natural actually still has some mining going because he didn't have a lot of saturation there, and the third still has some, at least a little bit of minerals up first. So at this point, he's going to clear up all those SCVs at the low right hand position. Is going to be able to retake these bases as soon as he moves up towards that position. And he has a huge, well, not a huge, but still has a pretty sizable ground arm compared to one mine has. Mine has not been able to produce troops for a long time now. He's not being able to avoid nothing but vultures at this point. And one arbiter possibly going to lose its life as it fights Goliath. Some science is on the field for mine, so at least he's trying to fight those arbiters off, but I just really don't think he has the troops for it. Just does not have what it takes. He's trying to harass everyone with those vultures, trying to keep some sort of control for himself, trying to mine around, but it's just having a large vulture army is not going to really allow him to do much against. There are observers on the field. There are other arbiters on the field. As long as observers stay alive against those guys, you get in a pretty good position. The REMP's coming up on all sides, but even those MPs are not going to be able to help those vultures take out all these zealots. They're going to just be mine dragging, taking all those mine hits, going to come right into this tank position. These mine attempting to take the 12 o'clock position down, but nothing but vultures at this point. Even a Dark Templar running around just killing stuff. Not going to be allowed anything. Even probes being pulled off the line towards that new base to start mining there. So mine at the very least is continuing to at least attempt to harass, trying to stay in this game, not just giving up at any time. But Pusan Mule going to be able to take the low right-hand position, then going to follow it up by taking the 6 o'clock. He has absolute map positioning. He has the economy, still managed to keep his army up. He's doesn't have much production either, really, but compared to mine's almost non-production, is pretty good base, pretty good position. Mine's still only mining off one base, and it's dying. He can't. There's just full saturation at that base, fully saturated, but it's not going to last for very long. So yeah, just there are at least some forces of protosses running around. That large, decently large Dragoon Zealot force with a lot of arbiters to support. Meanwhile, the only thing mine has a skeleton crew of a couple of tanks, vultures, and a few scientists to at least help him in the air. They're at least managed to EMP all those forces so his tanks do some damage. He has had an upgrade advantage this entire game, but allowing Pusan to take so many bases so early, Pusan expanding very aggressively, kind of his trademark in play really. So mine finally decides this is the last forces, and he sees what was coming at him, decides to GG, so he is out of this MSL while Pusan moves on to the final match where he's going to get another chance to get forward into this league. Going to face Jongbi there and possibly get some retribution. So GG guys, wrenching up. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed.